welcome you all to another press conference we are holding here today at the Manjai Bureau. We are honored by your presence and the presence of our national executive and party leadership and all members of the party who are here and continue to steer our party with dedication and vision. We also extend our appreciation to the media for responding to our invitation. Your role in informing the public and safeguarding democracy is invaluable. And to our steadfast supporters, both here and following us across the country and in the diaspora, your commitment is the lifeblood of our movement and party. Today's engagement will focus on critical matters of national interest, the integrity of our democratic processes, concerns over governance, and emerging developments that directly affect the lives of every Gambian. The leadership of the United Democratic Party will provide statements and respond to your questions with the aim of ensuring transparency and accountability to the public we serve. Once again, you're welcome and thank you for joining us in this important conversation for the future of our nation. The statements will start from the Deputy Party Leader, who will give welcoming remarks. From there, we will have the Deputy Secretary on Foreign Relations, Dr. Lamin Mane, who will give the statement on behalf of the party. From then on, we will have the statements summarized in local languages, especially Mandinka and Wolof, by our senior party member, Uncle Lare Sise. From there, we will open questions, but we are seeking and asking from the media that the questions are curtailed to what is being discussed here today. On that note, I say thank you once more.
It is my greatest honor to be with you here today. The agenda is about Seedy Njie. Seedy Njie, some time ago, I think it was last week, he went to coffee time and was being questioned by Mr. Peter Gomez. And then he wrongfully accused us. People thought we won't respond, but the United Democratic Party is not that type of party. We will respond when the time comes. And today is the time. We are going to respond accordingly. And I must declare here that Seedy Njie, he is a honorable member, but no one should call him honorable because he hasn't got the honorable attitude. As from today, can you call him Seedy Njie? And I'm sure you will call him Seedy Njie, not Honorable Seedy Njie. I won't go far because the statement is going to be done by Mr. Lamin Mane. So I invite Mr. Lamin Mane to do the statement. But media houses, Mr. Bojan have said it. Your questions, please don't go beyond the topic or the agenda. Questions being asked should be on the topic and nothing more. I thank you all for your presence. Thank you.
The party here present, Aji Yamundao Yabo, and of course starting with Aji Yamseka and then Aji Yamundao Yabo. We have Zainab Ghanim, Binta Toure, Larry Sise, Aji Yakumba Jaite, our brother Mansandao from Banjul, Joko and Haji, and all the members, Fatujane, everybody in this hall. We say thank you to you all for honoring our invitation. To the media fraternity, we say to you thank you as usual. Anytime we call you to a press conference, you are present in large numbers and you're here with us to accompany us. We really appreciate your presence, so thank you all very much. Today's press conference is initiated by the party to respond to Seedy Njie's frivolous accusations. The accusations are leveled at the UDP. And as Ajiyam said, for somebody who is supposed to be an honorable member of the House, it's a very dishonorable attitude that he had. Seedy Njie This is the gentleman who, from the time he was a student, has been selling off the Gambian youth to a dictatorship with Jammeh. He was with Jammeh, and he was a sellout for the Gambian youth during his presence at the side of Jammeh. Eventually, Jammeh, to reward his sycophancy, Jammeh promoted him and made him a a nominated member of parliament. Eventually, when the impasse happened here in 2016, he was promoted as Minister of Information for 7 or 9 days, I can't remember, to carry out the same sycophancy and hypocrisy that he was doing with Jammeh all the time. This is the gentleman who swore that Barrow would never be sworn in this country here, probably over his dead body. He connived with Fabakary Jatta to bring about a state of emergency in this country, all in the attempt to subvert the will of the Gambian people. The Gambian people had had enough of the Jammeh dictatorship, and they said, this is it. The Gambia has decided, and we are moving to a new phase. Jammeh was voted out by the Gambian population and a large coalition of Gambian political parties in this country. He, with Jammeh, tried to subvert the will of the people. And to make sure that Jammeh could stay here, they voted a state of emergency, which led to a panic in this country. People fled this country because they feared that there would be conflict and people might lose their lives. And in fleeing this country, a number of people died on the road from road accidents, women, children. People who left their houses open here, their houses were burglared. People lost a lot in this country, all because of Seedy Njie and his like. And he did all the things he did in this country so wrong. When Jammeh fled this country, he fled with him. Because he thought he had done enough evil to this country, he was going to be lynched. That's what he believed. But we Gambians, we don't lynch. We take you to court. We take you before commissions. And we make you account for what you did. But he had done so much wrong, he feared that, and he fled the country with Jammeh to Equatorial Guinea. And eventually he saw that Barrow is not the kind who would hold anybody to account. He came back with his tail between his legs. If Barrow had done the right thing, Seedy Njie would never have dared to come to this country, because he would have been arrested at the airport and charged and tried for subversion. What he did was subversion in this country. And so many other things. But because Barrow would not touch them, he came back. And what did he do? As soon as he came, he went with Fabakary Jatta to Adama Barrow and told him, you know what, we can help you stay in power here. And we can make you win, we can make you rich. I'm not saying this. Barrow said it on national television. He said they went to see him and they told him that. He said when they said at the beginning, he was shocked and angry. But on second thought, he said, maybe they are right. And what was the condition for helping him? Throw UDP out of the government. Because UDP was the people who were holding the country on the right track and making sure that what needed to be done in this country was done. So if you want us to be crooked with you, you have to throw out the good guys. And the good guys are the UDP. So UDP was thrown out of government so that they can come with Barrow to do all that they are doing. What we see today, the corruption, the impunity, and as Larry would say very nicely, the tribal politics, all of that started when UDP left this government. And Seedy Njie and Fabakary Jatta were among the architects of that. Seedy Njie, this is the guy who a few months ago, towards the end of last year, stopped the construction of a maternity ward in Nyanija, simply because his name and NPP's name was not on it. This is the guy who never worked a day in his life here to do anything for the country. He was a parasite on the Gambian resources. Seedy Njie has no qualifications, no skills, nothing. As we say in Wolof, Gorut Yetu. And he's here living off the sweat of the Gambian people. He was appointed to parliament as a nominated member, and all he did was live off us and live big. And this is the guy today who turns around and accuses the UDP of having militia in this country, going around the country to intimidate people of non-Mandinka ethnic origin. Anywhere else in the world, he would have been fired that same day from government. Because that's a very dishonorable statement that he did, he pronounced. And we are going to sue him in court to come up with the evidence that we have militia in this country which are going around trying to intimidate people. He has made that accusation, leveled it against us, you have to prove it in court. Who does Seedy Njie think he is? We live in this country, he said, Filang Mage, Filang Judo. Yeah, Filang Judo, Filang Mage. We are all here. So any militia in this country, there's nowhere to hide. And if UDP had militia in this country, Seedy Njie and co would have been very happy. Because then they would arrest those people and disband the UDP for having set up a militia in this country. That's what they wanted. That's what they wanted 2 years ago when the PRU officers were killed. PRU officers were killed here, 2 gentlemen and a lady was seriously injured. We as UDP immediately denounced it and said we must find the culprits and bring them to court. What did the government do? They immediately sent out this spokesperson, Sankare, to accuse us UDP of having been behind the killing of those gentlemen. He said the people involved got the money in a mosque in this country, and the money was shared between them, and that the government had laid hands on part of that money. He said that that guy was a member of the UDP, he was present at the UDP rally, and he was for Yankuba Dabo in Brikama Area Council. They had set up something to frame us, to make us responsible for a killing that has absolutely nothing to do with us. Nothing. And they are the ones who should tell us who got killed. And they have framed a young man when they could not frame us. They framed a young man who is languishing in jail today. And they cannot even prove that case. The objective then was again to tarnish the image of the UDP, have people arrested, and have the party disbanded. Because they know that they cannot win free, fair, and transparent elections in this country anymore. They know that. And they are scared out of their wits that if UDP wins, or rather when UDP wins, it's not if, when UDP wins, they will be called to book. And they know that they cannot win elections. They know that they cannot buy the elections anymore. They know that they cannot intimidate people into voting for them. And they cannot rig the elections because we told them stealing elections is over in this country. Nobody will steal our victory anymore. And in 2026, we're going to win and win big and go to the State House and call them before the courts. That's why they're scared. This last attempt by Seedy Njie is another attempt to frame the UDP, to say they are an undemocratic institution, they are a violent institution. They've accused us of tribalism. Of course that failed. Nobody believes that anymore. That has been a lie that has been going on from the Jammeh days. Nobody believes that anymore. Nobody believes that UDP is a tribalist party. But they did in 2021. They went out there, Dembo by force, and all of them went out there to accuse us of being a tribalist party, that we will throw people out of this country who are not Mandinka when we win. How on earth can anybody think like that? Who is UDP to throw out Gambians out of the Gambia? The Mandinka, the Fula, the Jola, the Sarahule, the Serial, the Akura, everybody in this country, anybody who is Gambian is Gambian. And no ethnic group has the possibility to throw out anybody from this country because you just feel like doing it. We have lived in this country in peace and harmony. We have coexisted peacefully. We are very courteous people. We marry into these different tribes. We live together. We go to each other's funerals, each other's naming ceremonies, etc. We are a community and a nation. And UDP is trying to build a nation of Gambians, not a conglomeration of tribes. And that is what Barrow and NPP are trying to do. Build a conglomeration of tribes. Today you invite the Mandinkas, tomorrow is the Wolofs, tomorrow is the Jolas, the Fula, the Sarahul. No. Gambia should have the Gambian. Our ethnic origins are important to all of us, but those factors should be something to make us better, not to divide us. What I bring as a Mandinka, what Ajiyam brings as a Wolof and Pearl, what Zainab brings in, what Binta brings in, what Larry brings in, etc. Our different ethnic origins, that diversity is supposed to make us better and stronger, not weaker. But they are trying to weaponize that to divide us because they think they can divide us and rule us. And while we are fighting amongst ourselves, they are robbing us blind. So they can continue with corruption and we keep fighting amongst ourselves. No, that's over in this country. So Seedy Njie, what you're trying to do will not prosper. We will not let you. We will not let you because this country is not for sale and this country is not for burning. You guys go out, the entire room. You're not going to burn this country. You're not going to spill blood in this country. The Basabali said they'll spill blood if that's what is required for Barrow to stay in power. As I said, Jammeh is the same ilk. Jammeh Barrow is the same thing. He said they will spill blood if that's what's required for Barrow to stay in power. Seedy Njie is accused of having militia in this country. And that is an attempt to frame us. Next thing they will do, they will set up a militia somewhere and say these are UDP guys and they're carrying arms. We go after UDP. We warn all of you. And we warn the Gambians. Anybody who falls for that will come for you together with Seedy Njie. We do not have militia. We do not use guns. We do not use knives. We do not use cutlasses. We use the ballot box to change this country. We follow the rule of law. That is what Usainu Dabo has taught us. Obey the law. Respect the law. Our only arm that we use is the law of the Gambia. So we don't go for physical violence, not even verbal violence. That is them, and that is on them. So we will not let this go. So if you set up a militia and try to accuse us, we'll come after you in the courts. Because that's probably what you're trying to do, so that you can accuse us and try to arrest our people or disband. It will not happen. We said never again in 2016, and we mean never again. And we're going to fight for this country. We will not spill blood. We will not burn the country down. We will not follow you in your tragic situation. The Gambia is for the Gambians, and we'll fight to make it livable and enjoyable for all the Gambians. So Seedy Njie, we have you in our sights. And we say we have you in our sights, we're watching you. We're not coming after your physical violence, no. But we watch you and we'll follow you and we'll sue you all the way. That's what we want to tell everybody today, starting with Seedy Njie, because this trend has been in the NPP forever. At one point, it's Hamad Ba, it's the mobile force, it's Seedy Njie. Seedy Njie, Barrow himself, when he said that he will have to wait and see that Usainu Dabo is dead. He said he had a contract to have Usainu Dabo killed so he can wash his hands over his grave and then go and step down. That's the head of state, for God's sake, saying that kind of thing. Who do you have at the head of this country? The head of state says that. The deputy speaker says this. The national president or whatever it is, they go by force says what he says. Ahmad Ba says all the wrong things they say. Who are we having at the head of this country? Gambia, we need to change this leadership. Because they have failed to do what is required of them as Gambian government, they say, let's burn the country down, let's start chaos so we can stay in power. Because they fear that when they come down, they'll be accountable. Look at all that they try to do with the constitution. So that they would just stay there, and when they come out of power, they will not be accountable, they cannot be pursued in court, they cannot be prosecuted, there can be no commissions against them, then they can just steal as much as they want and have nothing, no recourse against them. And we say, you're not getting away with that. So we voted out the constitution, the draft, because we want impunity to end in this country. We want accountability to be the rule of the day. And we want nobody to stay in power here for more than 10 years, 2 terms. Because if you have that otherwise, the impunity is what's making Seedy Njie and his people bold. Because they think that they can stay for another 10, 15, 20 years and nobody will hold them to account. So then they do all the wrong things. But if they know that in 2026 they are going and they have to account for what they do, things will change. So we want impunity to stop, and that will stop. It's been a long time I've been talking. Just allow me to say a few words in Wolof before handing over to my colleagues and Larry and the rest to say. Seedy Njie moo fi taxaw Coffee Time ne ñun UDP dañu am ay ndaw ñu yebal ñoo xam ne dañ leen jox ay gànnaay ay jaas yi ay paaka ay fetel dem di xoxatal nit ñi si seen dëkk yi yéen wax ne dañ leen fi dàq doon fi sànni carte dañ leen dàq bu ñu biine dara du ci dëgga dara du ci dëgga Seedy Njie xam nañ mooy kan Seedy Njie bi mu nekkoon xalal ba tey ci lan la dundee ci réew mi nekk di fenal nguur gi di leen wax li leen neex di jaay ku mun a jaay pour ñoom ñu wéy kii mu fi toogoon student si nekk student NAPSA student union bi fii koo xam ne foog nañu dekkuloo ci jàmme ñu dem boole ak jàmme ñu sonal la toroxal la xoxatal la tëj ñi di dóor ñi di tëj pour ñoom ñu mun a jàll ñoom ñu wéy ci la nekkoon nag di fenal jàmme ba waxtu bu ko neexee jàmme jël ko def ko nominated member in parliament ñu nekk nominated member de 2016 bi impasse bi xewee ñu bëri daw bàyyi government moom ne ko man kay du ma daw man maay sa jaam bi njëkk a gën a am doole ci réew mi maa fi gën a am jublaan naa la topp jàmme def ko ministre xaw ma juróom-ñaari fan la xaw ma juróom-ñeenti fan waaye bu dul fukki fan sa la nekk ministre ci ba mu nekkoon ministre biir boobu noonu toog na fi ne Barrow duñ ko fi waatal suñ ko fi wax xanaa moom ñu rek ko njëkk moom moo Fabakary Tombong Jatta ñu toog indi state of emergency lépp pour lan parce que Gambien si dañu sànni carte ne lii doy na dañ sonn coono bi ñu nekkee doy na dëkk bi dafa normal woon ñu ne dañ génne suuf ci buuta bi ñu dugal defaat leneen moom ne déet ñun kay loolu moo ñu gënal ñun fa ñu na des te Gambien suñu sànni carte yooyu bëgguñ ko bëgguñ Barrow bëgguñ Darboe na safr la bëgguñ Jammeh Barrow lañ bëgg ñu ñëw toog def ñetti at ñu dem tànn keneen moom la du am bu ñu defee state of emergency bi fii ñu bëri tiit nag ne xam na léegi de moom dinañ jàpp fii xeex na am deret na tuuru ñu bëri daw bàyyi dëkk bi borom kër yi yónnee seen jabar yi seen doom yi leen daw leen man kenn mun naa toppatoo sama bopp waaye sol fi nekkee dafa jafe ñu yónnee seen jabar yi ak seen doom yi ñu dem ci dex gi ñu dem Sénégal ñu dem Guinée Bissau fu nekk lañ dem pour ñu mun a rawale seen njaboot yi ci rawale boobu nag ñu bëri am nañ ci accident ñii dee ci jigéen ñi dee nañ ci seen doom yi dee nañ ci ñi fi bàyyi woon seen kër yi toj nañ seen kër seen gannaaw yaakaar nañ lu bëri ci réew mi lépp pour lan ndig Seedy Njie ak ñu mel ni moom moo def loolu yëpp ci réew mi fii Fatick xëju fi ñu xewee fukki at la ci gannaaw xam nga juróom-ñeenti at mutu fukki at sa ñoom ñoo ko fi def bi mu xëyee nag bi nga xamee ne Jammeh dafa wàcca fi tam bi ne rës mu daw toppa Jammeh nga dem Équatorial Guinée parce que xam na li mu def xam na ne dañ ko fi téye tëj ko yóbbu ko koot mu ci daw toppa Jammeh dem toggi Équatorial Guinée waaye bi mu ne Équatorial Guinée gis na nag Barrow de moom lambar la yàmbar la du toog kenn duñ fi téye kenn duñ yóbbu kenn koot mu delsi ci la delsi fii waaye bi mu delsee lan la njëkk a def dafa extrait mu daw dem ci Barrow moom moo Fabakary Tombong Jatta ñu ne ko xam nga lan la ñun mun nañaa dimbali nga toog ci nguur gi fii am li nga bëgg a am waaye nag foog nga dàqa UDP njëkk parce que ñeneen jug ñaar ñii nii su ñaari kilifa yi toog nii ñoo daan sandwich Barrow aji yaam mu ndaw ñoo ko daan sandwich yóbbu ko buy campagne Karafa jiitu leen ci kanam ñoo ko xeexal waaye ñu ne ko da ngaa dàqa ñooñu pour ñu wax yow dimbali la pour nga mën fee yàgg am gën a mun a am xaalis ci réew mi or que dépassé kooku loolu mooy or ñu or réew mi yëpp Seedy Njie ak Fabakary Tombong Jatta jàppale ko ci UDP génn nguur gi ñoom ñu dugga mu nekk deputy speaker kii musuta liggéey ci réew mi fii gorul yettul xëyut ngontuwul suñ ñax bi lay dundee suñ xaalis la ñu jël di ko fay as minister member as deputy speaker Seedy Njie musuta liggéey ci réew mi kenn dafa nekk fii di lekk suñ xaalis li moo lekk lewut li moo lekk yelluwu ko ñoom xam na ko waaye ñoom noonu lañ mel nag soo du dara ci ñoom waaye ñun gor lañ ñun lu waa la ñoo toppal lu waa la ñoo sàmm moo tax ñu ne ko li ngaa jéem a def du fi xew liñ defoon li moo jéem a def nii loolu la gaa defoon ñaari at ci gannaaw fii ñu rey fii ñaari PIU officers gaañ bu métti benn jigéen te bokk ci ñoom kooku yàlla def na alhamdulilah deewul waaye sonn na loolu lépp tax ñu def ko parce que dañ bëggoon a tuumal UDP dañoo rey ñooñu pour ñu mën a téye suñ kilifa yi mën a téye suñ parti militant si tëj leen ba pare tas parti bi ci loolu la gaa jublu woon loolu lañ jàng ci Macky Sall Sénégal loolu la Macky def Sénégal ak Pastef ne ay terroriste lañ dañ am ay gànnaay yu dul jeex ci réew mi ñu ngi jëm a daaneel nguur gi ñu tas parti bi ci ñëw Ousmane Sonko ak ñëpp tëj leen ñu ne ñu tam mën nañ koo def Gambie loolu la gaa bëggoon waaye yàlla muy buur weer leen dañ ko def rek Sankara daw dem ci rajo bi mu ne waaw ñu def lii kii def lii xam nañ ko daf ko def rek daw dem ci benn juma yow ngay jullit di tuumal lekk rëy ci juma lañ sosee loolu ragaluloo yàlla sax ñu ko dafa rëy rek mu daw dem ci juma ñu jox ko xaalis bi ñu séddoo xaalis bi waaye nguur gi ci am nguur gi jot naa mën a am ci xaalis boobu noonu ki ko def nañ ko jàpp léegi nañ ko tëj parce que waa UDP la mu ngi liggéeyal Yankuba Dabo Brikama Area Council daf daa dem ci UDP meetings te yëpp fen la dara du ci dëgg seen IGP Sow génn def ñoo jéemal expliqué luy triangulation naka lañ def xàmmee téléphone bi fan la nekk moo xamutoon dara ci triangulation sax li ma wax sax soo ko def Dakar dafa réew yooyu yëpp def nañ ko ci réew mi fii pour tuumal UDP pour téye suñ kilifa yi tëj leen pour tas parti bi yàlla muy buur am na digg rek lay farle yàlla moo ñu taxawlu moo tax mënuñ koo def waaye ndeysaan téye na ci doomi jàmbur tuumal ko jox Mama Jabi $1 million pour tuumal ko waa jaa ngi tëdd prison ba tey te loolu tam na jeex de waaye lii xew yëpp lan moo ci nekk because njaaxare moo leen jàpp ci liñ nekk xam nañu du yoon du dëgg ñu jaaxle nag bu fii ceeñee ñoom dinañ am pour taxaw yelloo liñ wax ñu liñ doon def loolu moo leen tiitloo te xam nañ ne ñoom mënatuñoo gagné élection ci réew mi fii xam nañ ko free élection boo xam ne dafa jub boo xam ne dafa leer mënuñu koo gagné ci réew mi fii because 2021 ñun ñoo gagné ñu sàcc ko ñu bëgg a génn Ousseynou ne bu leen génn nañ toppal waaye dañ dem court ñu dem court gars yi sànni suñu kees bi ñun ñu ne 2026 loolu du fi amati kenn du sàcc suñu élection te duñ dem Supreme Court dañoo win ñu dem State House yóbbu Ousseynou Dabo State House loolu moo leen tiitloo moo jël seen fit parce que xam nañ bu xewee kenn ci gars yi xamoon naka Cissé fu naa Ibrahima Cissé mu ne suñu UDP gagné 2021 ñoom ñëpp dañoo tëdd mile 2 mbébétale ko Sada Ba ay wala fa noonu parce que ñoom mu ne xam nañ li ñu def ñoom suñu wiiroo dañoo dem tëdd mile 2 di xam nañ ko xam nañ li ñu def te ñu ne loolu du fi ñaareel nag 2026 kenn du sàcc suñu victoire te dañoo win yóbbu dem State House loolu moo jël seen fit ñu nañ leen sàkkal pexe léegi ci sàkkal pexe boobu la nekk waaye du fi am Seedy Njie li moo def ñu ngi koo bàyyi xel Seedy Njie da nga war a màndu da nga war a tey dal fen du la yóbbu fen dëgg mooy mujjee ci réew mi te duñ la bàyyi nga taal réew mi duñ leen bàyyi ngeen def ko de ma sabe dañ tuur deret duñ fi tuur deret Adama Barrow def rey Ousainou Darboe suul ko du fi am liñ leen a wax mooy ñun lu waa la ñoo sàmm te réew mi rek lañ am soo déggee nañ taal réew mi da ci amul dara ñun nag fii la suñu lépp nekk fii lañ juddoo fii lañ faaxeekoo fii la suñu lépp nekk duñ nangu kenn ku taal réew mi li ñu tax a jóg ñun mooy jégal réew mi ñëpp am ci seen ak seen yelleef ñëpp ñu fee dundee ni ñu waree suñ doom mun koo bàkkoo ndamoo ko loolu lañ bugga ku génn ci réew mi nga damoo Gambie laa jógee nga mun koo bàkkoo loolu lañ bugga ñun bugguñ koo taal bugguñoo rey kenn bugguñoo tuur dereti kenn Ousainou Darboe loolu la doon wax mu ne leen 2021 mu ne bu leen génn su leen génn nag nañ tuur deret man buggumaa dugg ci dereti doomi jàmbur dem State House moo tax kenn génnu toon waaye loolu du fi amati nag sàcc moom jeex na fi jeex na taj moo jël seen fitna su ñu leen a xaar Seedy Njie li nga def du romb ñu ngi laa bàyyi xel dina ne xeex te xeex bi ñun koot la ak carte waaye di nga dem nga layoo ko nag indi koot ñu ngi leen la gërëm di leen sant bu baax ci seen dégluwaay bi ak seen teewaay bi fii di leen a jërëjëf yal na leen yàlla fay so ma jox kenn suma xëy ñu wax ko ci soose tam ba pare ñu mën a continuer
lami mane kuma jamale fo alba moy la le ba be dol kala TikTok pour al sa moy ay men fo nte ba asutian dilal ba asutian la nyame wala mu nyinti ko Seedy Njie kuma la fo coffee time with Peter Gomez ako UDP mol le soto ye kele jorangal di menula pour kata fulol nin ako pour kata siolu men ya lonke manke manding koti kate noma ka je ko kana carte o fay first of all carte fay man soto ito lewe mol register kan ni tata dulal to tare ni e bay iko UDP le fangol ning terangol ning murol di molla pour kana carte o fay Seedy Njie la o kumum lafta aliye muro ali al hakkilo murundi to 2016 Seedy Njie le lota janga ko kabri ya jamme president elect Barrow kumandi ka tentu ka jay ay election o me win Seedy Njie le lota ko wote kela Barrow te kalindila nyim banko kan nabe kalindila fa nabe kalindila te fure wala kan Seedy Njie le ofo video bije Seedy Njie ofo dalilo men kama wala munti ay tiñaro men ke ya jamme la wato ka fodninke wol tayle ya jamme a lonko nimman sakunda nata membe loi tamandila fo Seedy Njie muta because ayo menke bankola loi to ikafole treason mu muneti ka banko jahasi ka be du nyokono ka be pisir pasar ka be tinya Seedy Njie nyanta tarla bunjawol ta ma nyanta tarla deputy speaker of the house nte buka fa honorable Seedy Njie le ofo kabrin ko li yele mata aye bori a tata ja ani ablata ya jamme no ma tata editorial gini kabra jibe ko tempunta aje ko barote ku kala ila kuolto amurtana ala muro nan ala hakilo muro ndi koteke to 2017 2018 Seedy Njie londi tabul Seedy Njie meche tabul Seedy Njie membabul wala ma da kalo ala da kalo fana aka kumol men foje abuka ke kuma bete ali nga hakilo tu woto 2017-18 abe loi sol aka bule jo fenta bulu dol ka fo fan abuka la loi so jono nte ma wodo dolo ngame londro wala mu dulale be ko sarro di ka fo je ko Seedy Njie ko nte ma lo molke la ko nyol to la ni mo kunta on la mu abe loi so lawot amam fen soto idunta Adama Barrow koto President Barrow fangale lota ko Seedy Njie nin Fabakary Tombong tata kanne ko si lakang natra ko abe Usain Dabo nala mol bayla man sakunda sa support President fangale o fo kodi yo anata na Usain nyol bay ay jumalle katanda fanna Seedy Njie nin Fabakary Tombong jata ay wala katanda fan ame katanda fanna drom loi bukoto ay palaso mendila bibi ning Adama Barrow tije vice president lam ning vice president tije speaker lam ning speaker tije namera chief justice o deputy speaker so ay banko di ñullal president Barrow banko di ñullal wo kola Seedy Njie la kumo ala murunde president Barrow fangala kuma kilinto ay men fa mamme ako mol ñante hakkilotulal because at skuja okay no molla wow kawato I can do some bad things ngawolon ne dictator le kawoke but in nanying never again mantra namira president Barrow na la mol kanyina wala akasi kuja okay no molla wo botaje demba sabali nata ako itol pareta ka yelo bom Adama Barrow pour Adama Barrow tu sira woni ko Adama Barrow yo fo demba Barrow sa fa fan demba sabali yo fo den Seedy Njie tata West Coast Seedy Njie la ta West Coast alanga hakilo murundi ko makote Rwanda ye keleba men soto Rwanda fo mo wuli keme say fata je mo killing wala wulta tata radio station auto ako hutul be tutsil ñol fakan tutsil wulita ifanal bulata hutul nom ye Rwanda jani ya bele tinya o bataje Burundi the same hutu tutsi problem ye Burundi fanan jan o bataje Central African Republic ate si faram fansin diklimu ye jebe jan o bataje DR Congo hanibim do kan ye si faram fansin do dundi je oto fanam be tan mbade mul ne ajam be nyil bal hakilo bulan la nyil pareta nyim banko janilal baralin kana soye banko jan banko dingulu aflalem wo amandingalem bang asrualem bang ajolalem ba sarahule gambiano be kana song nyimoli la interest kam yenna banko jan dalilo me ati ne pareta nyim banko janil yalon ka diamu yin platform oltol ibe corruption o men na ya lonne ibe tiñaro men na ya lonne andu ya lonne ko nga lonne be tiñaro men yalon nin sunu ya lon ko sentiyo ya lonne ikan suñale na kutingule atemu talaba mbewo situation leto ni lafta ni banko janilale at any cost because il lafta tula sembo e tubul nkana song yenna banko jan nkana song mandinka fula jola sarahule wolof manjago siol men bebe ni banko kan nkana song ni mo kunta holen kumul takinyola nien kumul takinyola to le gagneta ilafta men na niake to le do beneficio soto mbukala fika mol to fo dulal to taring bari nal hakilo ba ma fana mama kande nene ya fala congress to soma ako bolka fo politician no lebe ni banko jangi ako maybe that is true bari même fana be banko janila wala mu ayi seat ika election no conduct nyan alila moy jela UDP manke banko janila kafuti UDP lonna lebje UDP katama luwale la UDP katama silol la UDP katama tonyal la nimmol wala fol dodo moy la because i mantiling iben na banko kasara kanne kodi kuwala karol iben na banko kasara kanne carte fayola kuwala iben na banko kasara kanne ibe contrat ko sign la dulal beto tarik mo malo contrat ko men bije nali al hakilotum ka kumol men be fo nyin kar laban kono abe tata nata wolem ibe tula banko kan nyamen e kodo men pisir pasari be o domola nyamen ibenya walla o fananka ni wote Gambia dronne Seedy Njie sike nyim kusifat ite mankara imal londi soto base famate bu bar hanwo ye baroje dawda Seedy Njie babal so nteka même fo molie Seedy Njie be fem fokan demba sabali be fem fokan Adama Barrow le ba fokan. Let us hold Adama Barrow accountable for the actions and words of these people. Na Adama Barrow muta na karteo fay na boyindi na itanda la ko itante nyim bankoti banko dimul le tamu nyim bankoti banko dimul mo million fula nim fennem ita kilinnam fo nyim mol men sote bala men ya lon ko ni pareta yeta yenneng wala yem kungul takinyola ye fitino nyor banko kam mbekumo kuntula damen alkana song mol mo membe de lamoyka alkana song ni mol ya ayal diamundi ye fengo dialla e kale ko alke militiati ale UDP tum alkana song because ni oketa mbital normal ko mbite noma nyami yalo mol diamuta janni Seedy Njie ay nying information o bondi damen fire kata manke tonyat I fabricate le fabrication o wala muneti ye mira dro ite si mo tumi no nyame pour ay problème o soto eta ye ofo anda afo nyine kama ko kute bolaje afo nyine kama fanam ni en samba kiti wala kiti wote mutal because kiti mol munna mansa kundal fo Adama Barrow le ma fo ala supportal memmen diate ya ke memmen diate ya fo ibe support lal president men ka ofo o manke loi president finally loi la karola na loi buko ko mo be kanyanta loi ko bari mite katula fo la dulal to tari UDP ka fo dulal to tari ko yes be kanyanta loi ko bari fon be kanyanta loi nyati limu la leba because na je president Barrow be o fo la demba sabali nyol be nyul fo la Seedy nyol be nyul fo la ibe jikri nyine la ko nin tata loi nyati limu la loi te apply lambe kan loi be apply le to le kan Gambia no alinga lonko nimma nyil molu bondi nyin dula na banko kasarata ala lom fananko Adama Barrow na la mol inya dunta UDP le la anin lawyer Ousainou Darboe Adama ya jamme ka kumol fo janna amam me ay kuma dof Gambia la karol inende te ya Adama Barrow moy labe ya jamme because a man hani ya ala ay Ousainou le yab ay UDP le yab wala na ka fo bar Adama Barrow maninka kunda nyabondo ka kijele momo en nakumo moy yalo ne ko ntol be ulla wato men nan nin ko liketan ka fala ngata tabo ko to sate bantala ngata nyo nyabon UDP ning Adama Barrow Gambia nol ning Adama Barrow be nyo nyabondi la le 2026 because nka fon ne ko Adama Barrow ya lon ne ko nin carte o fayta carte o tilinta suñar manki je fem manki je ate carte o winno la nyim banko kan kotek nka o fole election integrity free fair transparent election ni woketa jang Adama Barrow ne nete carte o soto la ko sa lon ne na fintita ka jele mol ka menu fa moyle alinga naki nyola nkana so yen na banko kasar alinga naki nyola nkana so yen na banko jan alinga naki nyola na je ko banko luwala ka taman ya je luwata dawada je bukaten so alinga Adama Barrow tembendi alinga Seedy Njie nyol tembendi alinga Demba Sabali nyol tembendi Dembo by force nyol ngi tembendi ye loi normal ye loi respect but more importantly atol Gambia nol yal respect because ibe freedom men kono ibe nafa men kono Gambia nol le adila atol men be kala moy men be kudan kuntawur makati albe men kono al yalon nyilbe men kono al yo fanal lon al kanason yal nene kotake ka foko imal lafi fulol le mal lafi surwal le mal lafi si kota wala ilafta janke la manin ka bankol because jammanke manin ka bankol jamu dambelet wolof fula mandinka sarahule jola ndele ta munim bankol ni momo kale ko wo manke tonyati al kodon sikal ya bay ala baraka
Majane protocol body timis ñewul day time de body timis man ajayamu ndaw yaabo man lay fa feka ñoo dur sanom ñoo anda ñom ñetta ma leen fekk ñu toog ni si boori Facebook gaate boobu mel ni ay almudu yu toog noonu laa dugga rek dur saane dugga fekk ma mu ne ma anti yaam da ma ne mu ne ma gis nga Fabakary ak Seedy Njie ñoo toog nii ma ne ko mu ne ma gis nga man de lii laa liggéey damaa dem di leen indi si parti bi ma ne ko loolu soo ko defee baax na dem indi leen waa APRC nga indi leen si parti bi ma ne ko loolu de moom starting bu rafet la kere juma ne duñ dugga parce que amuñ appointment tey su Seedy Njie bokkoon na Adama Barrow dinañ leen def loolu dinañ leen wax loolu moo tax bi Adama Barrow waxee ne Seedy Njie ak kii ñoo ko wax ne na daxawaa UDP ma gom ko xam ne loolu dëgg la parce que man seen ñëw fekk fa la ma fekk ba leen duusaanoo indee jërëjëf.
Executive members here present, excluding Dr. Larry, only have two Mandinka cities. I am Sarahule and Tiamudoje Yabo
Wolof and Jola. My mom is a Jola.
Adiyam is Wolof.
Fula.
Auntie Zainab is Now. Uncle Mansandao is Wolof. I am Sarahule and Wolof combined. Jatu is Jola. Adi is Sarahule. So how can this be a Mandinka part? The options are very clear. It's very simple. If unity was founded just based on Mandinka, what are we doing here? What is someone like me doing here?
The positions.
Exactly, and the positions. And just look at our mayors and chairman. We have Rohilo is Wolof, Taliban is now, Yankuba is Mandinka. So UDP is a representation of the entire country. And everyone is saying that, and I would urge the youth, particularly the youth, if anyone comes to you talking about tribalism alone when it comes to politics, know that they have nothing else to offer you because they have nothing in their head. That's why they're talking about tribalism, because there's so much going wrong in this country that we need to address. What about the inflation? What about the losing of the value of our currency to other currencies? Particularly the SEPA. These are issues people like Seedy Njie should be addressing when they come to the public forum instead of tribalism. Once they open their mouths and all they can say is tribalism, just be assured that there's nothing more in their head than they can possibly. Thank you. I just wanted to say this.
Kambe kadi wonani do kibaruji e nder haala puram o press conference do no arani iɗon andino balɗe yawtunoɗi ɓawɗo seeɗa rek Seedy Njie mo andanta ko kanko woni deputy speaker suudu député ko kanko kadi woni deputy spokesperson National People's Party o yahno coffee time with Peter Bobes West Coast radio 92.4 o yahno toon fi wonugol interview e nder on interview o Seedy Njie o waɗi tuumaji mo andanta Democratic Party o coppini toon e nder ɗum noon parti on no yii ɗum waɗi nécessary fi men ara ɗo min laɓɓina Seedy Njie ko haali kon sabranta faamugol parti o ɗiɗo haalalaji ɗo ko haalaji waɗiɗo dangerous ko haalaji mo andanta o waway addande men fitna e leydi ndi UDP noon no min andi tarika o noon ko parti loi ko parti mo andanta ko jumaɓe gandal won toon koɓe andi kon ko ɗoni dewole siɗa ɗaɓɓa ɗum koye junngo yimɓeɓe ɗaɓɓata wona e fitna fotaɗo ɗaɓɓude ɗum noon naɓi men e tarika Seedy Njie comme haalowo no haaliri noon no Seedy Njie no min andiri noon ko APRC wonno imo wonno e suudu vidéo kadi has nominated member e wattu Yaya Jammeh gila naamu Yaya Jammeh on wonti waɗama 2016 December 1st Yaya Jammeh yani gila mo yalino cabinet makko fof dogi ɗum ko Seedy Njie heddino ɗon ha ɗo i place mo annata ko woni place ministre mo annanta woni ministre balɗe jeeɗiɗi walla balɗe jeenayyi e nder ɗum noon noon Yaya Jammeh former président mbo yaltina to leydi ɗo nde mo yalta ɗon kala Seedy Njie donno jokki ɗum ɓe yalti e leydi ndi ɗo kono nde mo yaltata minen andi ɗon impasse arno ɗo e on impasse Seedy Njie darno ɗo ɓe wi Yaya Jammeh ko kañum woni président o Adama Barrow mo jeeɗata ko nder Seedy mo nanta ko ɓeynata elected président elect yimɓe ɓuyi e ɗum maayi fi ɓe doga yaltugol e leydi ɗo ɗaɓɓan koye maɓɓe ɓe heeɗi accident ji e nder hoore leydi ndin ɗo ɓe yaltatamɓe yimɓe yaha e dulaji maɓɓe e nden o accident noon ko ɗaɓɓani ko honko woni pullo ko honko woni sorapulle ko honko woni joola ko honko woni mandinka e ko honko kadi woni séréer walla mbayɗum ka bila because ko fitna o yimɓe no wattu ɗo so gila mbo haalno ka ɗo haala mbigol UDP ko parti mo annanta ɓe jogui militia groupe so nani militia groupe ko waɗi ko groupe kaf mo annanta UDP ɗe jogui ɗum ko kaf militaire aɓe ɓe jonni ɗin jorangaji mo annanta ko ɓe waɗa ɗum ɓe jahana yimɓe mo haali ɗo leƴƴi mo wanna ni pulɓe e kalan sarafulle e kalan joolaɓe jolofɓe yimɓe jahana ɓe ɓe hulɓina ɓe ɓe innaɓe ɓe heɓata ɗo kayiti carte wote e gandiya ɗo bo innani hoɓɓe ko ɓe wi fulɓe sa ndaari no UDP comme yakumba no haali ɗino ɗo oɗo joɗude kono joɗɗo ɗo ko seɗɗe ɗiɗi reɓon ɗo joni sa yi on ɗon parti mo annanta ko fulɓe woni heede yeeso makko ko fulɓe jogui kasɗo ko fulɓe woni honorable ko sa yahi ko ba e baaji e tunkara ko ɓeñ tawata e place ji UDP ko honde on façon parti ɗon immata mo hulɓina yimɓe ɓe wiya ɗum ɓen ɗon ɓe heɓata ɗo kaydiji mo annata ko ɗum woni kaydiji amba wote so min tawi oɗo tuumaji ɗo ko tuumaji mbaɗi ko sangara tuumaji mo annanta ko ma parti o ƴetta ɗum darde on ɗo darde noon ko ɗum woni mi waɗat sous Seedy Njie mi waɗa ɗum sukankor fimbo waɗa proof ne UDP gonga gonga ɓe jogui parti kafu mo annata ko woni parti kafu militaire aɓe ko wanno ko militia groupe on ɗo militia groupe ɓe waɗa ɓe jonna kala joraji mo annata fetel e laaɓi e fangi fimɓe jahana yimɓe ɓe hulɓina ɓe so tawi mbo waɗi ɗum waɗ proof e court min anda ko haali kon ko gonga kono so wawi ɗum so wawan waɗi ɗum proof min anda ko haali kon ko haala mo annata wona gonga so ɗum noon no lattiri men e tarika mo andanta minen no men sikkiri noon NPP e Seedy Njie ɓe foti wadde ɗo hannde ko ɗum woni darugol Gambia diversity ko ɓe jogui kon fi yimɓe hakkude amen honno kawral wata arde kono naafi argol hulɗingol leƴƴi fi kamɓe ɓe heɓa meledi maɓɓe kono min tawiri no ardi noon sa e laamu Adama Barrow o ko ɗum taki ha waɗi ka laamu Adama Barrow ko fi feccugol yimɓe e leƴƴi fi kamɓe wawa heɓude sagoji maɓɓe ko Seedy Njie min yaani on gandal e junngo makko min yaani on kadi on ɗon ƴoyre e junngo makko min yaani on kadi yiɗugol leydi makko e junngo makko fi kañum wawa wadde place mo annata ko ɗum ni député speaker e nder laamu Adama Barrow hannde sina fi argol rek addugol feereji mo annata ko ɗum wona feccude yimɓe e leƴƴi kamɓe ɓe wawa heɓde sagoji maɓɓe ko on noon ka façon politique noon ɓe waɗno 2021 enen mit anduno Dembo Bay Fos o darno ɗo o mbi ɗo parti goɗɗo mo annata won parti UDP si ɓe heɓi ɗo laamu ngun mo andanta fulɓe ɓen e joolaɓe ɓen e sarampulle ɓen séréer ɓen ɓen o yini ɓen ɓe rondo ɓen ɗon dolle maɓɓe ɗen fi ɓe yaltinaɓe e Gambia ɗo eɗen andi ɗum ɗo fof wona gonga kono sa yi tampereji mo annata ko ɗum min jogui hooreledi ndi hannde no wayni tampereji 2021 oɗo konngol mo annata Dembo Bay Fos ko ɗum no haalno nde ñande o hulɓini yimɓe ɓen ɓe ronki andude walla ɓe ronki faamude ɓe calcula hombo walla hoɗum taki neɗɗo no addata laamu walla ko hoɗum taki neɗɗo no hugata laamu fi ɓe jooɗo sa yi hannde gurdoɗaɗo série ko fi ɗum ɗon konngol ji kono hannde sa yi mbiɗen naɓa Seedy Njie e court ko fi ko haali kon ko haala mo annanta wona gonga ko haala mo annanta waɗde fitna ko haala mo annanta ko mo anni fi waɗugol ban UDP e hoore laamu e hoore leydi Gambia ɗo because Macky Sall ko façon ɗiɗo feereji mbo waɗi Sénégal ha Pastef ɗi waɗano ban ɓe haalnaɓe kamɓe ɓen ko Pastef noon parti on wo ko torisade ɓe faala adude fitna e Sénégal ɗum tagi noon ha yeesoɓe parti ɗe Pastef ɓen ɓe sokano e leydi Sénégal kono ɗum takani Allah ko ñaawi kon waɗaka ɓe soki yeesoɓe Pastef ɓen kono hay ndem ɓiɓɓe leydi Sénégal ɓen ɓe tawi politique ko fi anden feereji e kala anden kala gurɗa men noon ko honɗon fewde wottu ɗo ko ɗum tagi Sénégal ɓe wawi yaltude Macky Sall ɓe addi yimɓe manta ko ɗum ni Ousmane Sonko e Diomaye Faye ɓe yeesoji ya Pastef so minen kala UDP ɗo minen woodi noon kadi ko ɗin façon feereji Seedy Njie